Up to the gate done, to the bottom basement doors done, and we also got the edges concreted from here to that wall, and then from the wall to that post. So that's the other things we got left to do today, is concrete the rest of these edges up to where we stopped, and then we're gonna dig out this area behind the gate so we can continue our walkway to the driveway there. We got all our material we need. We got the 3/4 inch stone for the base on the rest of the walkway continuation. We got the chip stone for our bedding sand. We got border pavers, regular pavers, and underneath that tarp there we got our concrete. So we're gonna keep moving. See if Benny's got anything good to say this morning on another rainy day. What is this, rainy day number 14 out of the past 15 days, Benny?
Dude, serious. Nothing but water. Flash flood warnings for like the past week and a half.
Every day, right?
Every day.
Yeah.
Whether the sun was out or not.
86 and sunny. Hey, there's a flood coming. Hello everyone, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Christian Hardscaper, where we have a lot of content just like this. We do landscape construction and hardscape installations just like this. A lot of concrete paver and natural stone patios, walkways, walls, stairs, and more. Today's project is going to be us finishing up this really big backyard transformation that we did, and we're going to pretty much walk you through all the basics of how we go about our concrete paver, walkway, and patio installations. Alright guys, so step one is excavation, and depending on where you are in your geography, I guess, really determines how much you have to excavate. We are operating out of Massachusetts in a freeze-thaw climate, and we have to excavate a minimum of 6 to 8 inches of soil depending on the soil types. This soil type here is pretty consistent of clay and loam, so we ended up excavating this down about 10 inches. With that 10 inches, if you can see, we're starting to get to a point where the soil actually changes color, and that's a pretty good telltale sign that you're getting to a good sub base. Loam and clay will generally hold the water back pretty good, and it's kind of a darker color, but as you can see, we're getting through our topsoil base down to a nice sub base with more gravel, sand, and stone. So once you start changing the soil colors like that, from a dark soil to a lighter tan like this, usually you're pretty good. And like I said, we're at about 10 inches below top of paver grade, so we're good for our situation where we are. And next step's going to be backfilling. All right guys, it's been a busy wet morning. It's still raining, Ben.
Barely. But it is holding on.
Ben made a mess.
Oh yeah.
Benny made a mess.
I cleaned it.
Anyway, we are all excavated out, about 10 to 11 inches throughout from final grade. So the next step is, as you guys have seen before, we put a thin layer of 3/4 inch stone that we have over there that we use for the base. About 1 to 2 inches of that. Rake it out to the grade and level we want the sub base to be, and then we compact it. Like I said before, our next step is backfilling, and this is something that we do on every project. We get to the sub grade that we need to be, and we spread out this thin layer of clean 3/4 inch crushed stone, rake it out smooth, and we're going to use our compactor to really compact this into our sub base, correct the soil, which will help with drainage and allow the water to permeate into the ground. much better than if you just compact the sub base. And for you do-it-yourselfers, if you don't have a big plate compact like this, you can rent one, or if you have the time, just use a nice hand tamper and compact into the base. The plus about this system that we're doing is that after you compact that thin layer of 3/4 inch stone into the sub base, you don't need to compact anymore. This 3/4 inch stone actually comes 98% compacted upon when you dump it, so that you don't actually have to compact it, and that is one of the main reasons why we use this system. So to talk real quick about this fabric we're using underneath our base, it's a geotextile fabric. It's not woven, and it's not made out of cloth. It's made out of plastic. So what this is going to do when we spread it out nice and then backfill it with this 3/4 inch stone is it's actually going to stabilize our base tenfold. And if anything were to happen in the future where the sub base underneath this fabric were to sink a little bit or shift, the fabric will actually be held tight just from the pressure of all the stone that we backfill on top of it, and prevent sinking. In the past 3 years of me using this system, and that's probably 50 plus different hardscape jobs and installations, I haven't had to go back and warranty any installations I've done for sinking or shifting. The system is really tested and true, and has definitely proven to me to never go back to dense grade or class 5 gravel, whatever you call it in your area. This is really the #1 system in my mind for drainage and stability for pavers to rest on. What it does is really allow for the water that if in a regular install using dense grade or class 5 material would hold water, this base does not hold water, and the pavers never sit in a puddle of water because of it. And that's #1 with any paver installation or concrete block installation. So I have used this system for the past 3 years, and I will continue to use this system until something better comes along, which I can't see happening for a while. So now I'm setting up my screed pipes. As you see, I'm going to try to match it with my existing walkway that I've laid and the driveway, and then mesh the 4 pipes in the middle. I will explain in this next clip. Alright guys, we 2 grade pipes are set. We're ready to put some chipstone. As you saw, I cut the asphalt on the driveway, so we have a nice straight edge to put our pavers up against. We always do that because you'll almost never find a straight edge driveway, really. It just usually gets poured and then compacted. It's never straight up and down, so that's why we cut that. We got these pipes set. They pitch down that way and down this way. We got these pipes coming off of that walkway, pitch down this way and this way. So whatever water comes from the walkway from inside and the driveway will come down and wick off to the right here. So I'm gonna jump right back into it. Throw some chipstone down, spread it out, start screeding, pull these pipes out, start laying some more pavers, try to get this walkway done before the day's over. Stay tuned. Alright guys, I did screed most of this off camera, but just for you to know, these pipes that I'm using for screed rails are 1 inch gas pipe, and the 1 inch is interior, so it's about 1 1/4 exterior pipe. And the reason why we do that is that these pipes are nice and solid and sturdy. I have seen people use PVC pipe and gas pipe, but like 1/2 inch or thinner. And the downfall to this is that the pipe is flexible and can warp easily. And if you use a warped pipe or a plastic PVC pipe, you can have dips and dives in your walkway afterwards because the pipes are not perfectly straight. So I would definitely not recommend using the plastic PVC conduit pipes or anything like that. And if you're going with a metal, aluminum, galvanized pipe, don't use fence posts and don't use too thin of a pipe. Like I said, I recommend these 1 inch interior, 1 1/4 inch exterior galvanized gas pipes that you can buy at any Home store, Home Depot, Lowe's, or even a hardware store, and they'll give you a really true and flat screed for your concrete pavers to lay on. One thing I've learned from doing all this work is that you really need to take your time through this process and make sure everything gets laid right. You know, there's nothing worse than spending a lot of your time and effort to do a project like this just for it to not be perfectly flat. You see curved joint lines or dips and dives in your walkway, and that really takes away from the end product. So my best advice is really just take your time, take these steps that I'm showing you, and try to accomplish them as perfect as possible. And you know, don't worry about what people have to say with how long things are supposed to take. It's something I've realized in my career with this hardscape work is that, you know, the more time you spend practicing and actually working on good quality, that's the most important part. And then you know, your efficiency and your time will come after that. Hey everyone, got some more done. All the walkway pavers are in to where they need to be. Now we just got to lay the border out, make our marks, and cut it. Sorry everyone, I had the radio going in the background and YouTube hit me with a copyright, so I have to do a voiceover. But what I'm showing you here is our pavers are about 1.5 inches lower than the bottom of our gate, which gives us room in case the pavers lift a little bit in the winter when it does freeze. That's a pretty important part of a install like this. If there's a gate, you want to give yourself some leeway and some room for everything to freeze and lift up and then drop back down. But our next step here is going to be laying out our border exactly how we want it and marking it to cut it. There's a few different techniques you can use. Some people use PVC conduit or edging or something to lay out and give you your mark, just because it's quicker. But personally, I like to actually lay the border out dry on top of our patio or walkway like we have here to really get an eye on exactly what it's going to look like. When you lay these pavers out like this, before you mark it, you can really see and get an idea of what it's going to look like beforehand as compared to laying out a pipe. So this is the way we always do it. I got this curb set up nicely, so I'm going to mark it and give her a cut. Alright guys, so as I was saying, this is in my mind the best way to lay out a radius and mark the pavers for cutting. If you don't lay out your border pavers first and use any other technique, you're really just kind of guessing what the radius is going to look like. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say that you can do it a lot quicker without laying the border out. I really don't care. This is the most precise way in my mind to do it. So what I'm doing here, you just saw in the clip before that I scored the line that I made before I started doing the full cuts, and that gives me a nice guideline along the whole edge to follow for when I do the full cuts like I'm doing now. And when you have this many pavers to cut at once, make sure you use water, guys, because it's just very helpful for the longevity of the blade that you bought, and it prevents all that silica dust from getting in your lungs. That stuff's really not good for you. So now that I have the edge cut, I'm gonna smooth out this chipstone, add a little bit so that the border pavers are a little bit higher than our actual walkway pavers, so that I can hammer them and set them into place to help prevent sinking in the future. I guess the number one thing about that is the edge is the first thing to fail, so you want to really make sure that you do everything you can to prevent that. Get some perfect timing, bud. Benny just got back. He's unhooking the pallet, and I just finished the border. Alright, so back into these cuts, guys. If you don't have a saw like this, which obviously not many people do, for you do-it-yourselfers, if you head down to your local Home Depot or Lowe's, you can rent a saw like this for less than $100 a day. Or there's other options, but I would definitely recommend getting a good cutoff saw for something like this, even if you got to spend the money to rent it. So these inner radius cuts on the inner side of this walkway, you got to cut one by one, just because you know, the inner radius, you can end up damaging the pavers next to them, and it's just the best way. So I got Benny running them back and forth to me as I cut, and this keeps the bedding sand in good condition, so you don't have to redo that. Alright, so you just seen a inner radius cut. It definitely takes more time than an outer radius cut. What I like to do here, as you see the score line, I scored all the pavers before cutting them. And what I do is I'll take it from the beginning point of the radius and cut straight to the end point of the radius on the specific paver that I'm on. And then anything in the middle that I still have to take off because it's such a tight inner radius, once the bulk of the paver is cut off and gone, I can take my cut-off saw and I can just kind of you know, eat away at the little bit that's in between that you're about to see again right here. I got my blade at a good angle, and I'm just chewing off all the little pieces that are still left over outside of my score line, and then that leaves me with a nice inner radius clean cut. And this stuff takes time, guys, especially any of this custom concrete paver work. You just got to realize that it's gonna be a lot of labor, a lot of time, and you know, be willing to do it, and you'll get end results of cuts like this. Nice, clean, tight cut lines, and you know, an end product that, you know, a lot of people just don't see. It'll set you apart from the rest. It's done, except for we're not done, but it's laid. All cuts are done. There was a lot of cuts here, Benny boy. A lot of cuts. Every edge was cut. Tired of cutting, man. But it's done. Looks awesome. Benny's getting the edges prepped for some concrete. We'll concrete the edges, wash everything down, and we're gonna call it a day, hey? We're gonna call it a day.
Day is what we're gonna call it.
Out in stormy weather, I might have the blues, but nothing ever stopped me from dusting off my shoes. You might think you'll see me falling to the ground.